Hello and welcome to the briefing brought to you by Cyberteam 1. Today is August 22nd, 2026. In the next 10 minutes, we'll cut through the noise and bring you the cybersecurity intelligence that matters most to business leaders and defenders. Everything we cover today comes from the past 7 days, and there's a thread running through this week that's worth naming right at the start. Normally, when we bring you a serious security problem, the answer is some version of apply the update. This week, 4 of our 5 stories don't work that way. In one case, there's nothing to install. In another, the update doesn't remove the attacker. In a third, the attack happens before the software you'd patch even exists. That doesn't mean patching stopped mattering. It means that if patching is the only thing your security program really measures, this was a week where your scorecard looked fine and your actual risk didn't move. Let's start with the biggest one. Microsoft has disclosed a flaw in Entra ID, which is its cloud identity service. If that name isn't familiar, think of it this way. Entra ID is the thing that decides who your employees are. When someone signs into Microsoft 365 or Azure, Entra ID is what checks them and lets them in. Almost every organization using Microsoft's cloud depends on it. The flaw is rated 10 out of 10. That's the maximum. It allowed an attacker with no username, no password, and no help from a user to run their own code inside that identity service. And here's the part that matters most. Microsoft says it was exploited before they fixed it. Now the good news is real. Microsoft has already fixed it, entirely on their own infrastructure. There's no patch to install, no change window to schedule, no fleet of machines to chase. Microsoft's advisory says plainly that no customer action is required. But sit with that for a second, because it creates a problem that most organizations aren't set up for. The flaw was exploited before it was fixed. Microsoft hasn't said who did it, when it started, how many customers were affected, or what the attackers reached once they were inside. So there is a window in which your organization may have been affected, and from where you're sitting, that window has no edges, which means the work here isn't repair, it's investigation. And whether you can do that investigation at all was decided months ago by whether somebody chose to keep your identity logs. Microsoft's default retention inside the portal is short, often 30 days or less, unless you deliberately export those logs somewhere durable. If you did, you can go and look. If you didn't, the honest answer to "were we affected?" is "we can't tell." And no amount of effort this week changes that. So there are 2 actions. The first is to find out today, in writing, how far back your identity logs actually go. The second, within whatever period you have, is to look for the quiet kind of persistence, credentials added to applications that already existed, new administrative consent grants, privileged roles activated by people who don't usually hold them. Those are the things that would survive a fix made on Microsoft's side of the line, and very few organizations alert on them. And there's a board-level point underneath all of this. Your identity provider found the flaw, fixed it faster than you ever could have, and then decided how much you get to know about it. That's the deal with a managed service. It's often a good deal. It should still be a deliberate risk acceptance rather than an assumption. Next, and this one is for anyone who runs a plant, a utility, or a factory floor. 5 United States federal agencies, including the National Security Agency, the FBI, the Department of Energy, and the Environmental Protection Agency, published a joint advisory this week about attacks on Siemens S7 industrial controllers. These are the small computers that physically run industrial processes, pumps, valves, turbines, production lines. The advisory covers every generation of them, right through to the safety controllers. Their words were direct. This is not a theoretical risk. It is an active threat. 2 things make this different from an ordinary industrial security warning. The first is that the attackers aren't using a secret flaw. They're using legitimate, freely available, open source industrial automation libraries to talk to these controllers over the standard protocol on the standard port. It's using the controller exactly the way it was designed to be used, by someone who shouldn't have access. The second is how they built the capability. The agencies assess that attackers are using artificial intelligence to write and refine exploit scripts, working from public documentation and open source tools, and disguising those scripts as ordinary monitoring software. For years, the thing protecting industrial systems wasn't strong security, it was that attacking them required rare, specialized knowledge that took a long time to acquire. That barrier is what's coming down. The translation for a board is short. The number of people capable of writing a working attack against your plant controllers just went up, and the qualification needed to join that group went down. The first question isn't, are we patched? Because patching doesn't remove the ability to program a controller. That's what the controller is for. The first question is how many of these devices you have and whether any can be reached from the internet. Answer that by scanning your own external addresses, not by reading the network diagram. The paths that catch people out are the ones the diagram doesn't show. A cellular router installed for a vendor, a remote support appliance, an engineering laptop connected to 2 networks at once. For Australian organisations, there's a compliance edge to this. The sectors named, water, energy, chemicals, food and agriculture, manufacturing, map closely onto the sectors covered by our critical infrastructure legislation. If you're a responsible entity, a specific government advisory naming equipment you operate is exactly the sort of thing a regulator will later ask what you did about and when. Third story. A widely used software component was backdoored, and the interesting part is when the attack fires. A package in the Rust programming ecosystem, with around 244 million downloads, was replaced with a malicious version. It's a small utility component that almost nobody chooses on purpose. It arrives quietly as a dependency of something else. 2 related packages were tampered with at the same time. The malicious versions added a dependency with a deliberately misspelled name, 1 character off from a legitimate package, and that fake package ran code during compilation. Not when the software was deployed, not when it ran in production, when a developer or a build server compiled it. So the victims here are developer laptops and build servers. Those machines typically hold source code, signing keys, cloud credentials, and publishing tokens, often more privileged than anything in production, while being among the least monitored systems in the business. The packages were live for somewhere between 86 and 107 minutes before the Rust security team removed them, and no evidence of actual use has been found. That's genuinely reassuring. It's also not a reason to skip the check, because build systems run automatically on triggers nobody watches at all hours. Analysis by a named security firm links the operation to a North Korean group already tied to 2 similar attacks earlier this year. Your exposure check is close to trivial. Search your code repositories for that misspelled package name. It's a 1-line search, and it gives you a definitive answer within the hour. If you find it anywhere, treat every credential that build machine could reach as compromised and rotate them rather than just rebuilding the software. And the durable fix is boring and effective. Lock your dependency versions, enforce that in your build system, and add a short quarantine on brand new package versions. A 24-hour delay would have made a 90-minute compromise irrelevant. Fourth, an extortion campaign we've been watching has moved from claim to evidence. The Klopp Group has been breaking into product lifecycle management systems, the platforms that hold engineering designs, blueprints, CAD models, and manufacturing documentation. When we covered this a week ago, what existed was a list of names on a criminal website, which is a claim by people with every reason to exaggerate. This week, a named research firm published technical analysis of the tool they're using, and that changes its status. They built something purpose-made for this specific platform. It reads the application's internal data stores, decrypts every credential the platform holds, including administrative and directory credentials, in readable form, and includes a mechanism that lets the attackers run any further code they like inside the trusted application. More than 40 organizations have now been named publicly, including some very large engineering and industrial companies. None has confirmed a significant breach, and we should hold to that standard too. The operational lesson is sharp. Patching that platform does not remove this tool, and it certainly doesn't undecrypt credentials that have already been read. If you run one of these systems, and it was reachable from the internet earlier this year, the credential rotation is not conditional on finding evidence. Do it anyway. There's also a strategic point. Most data classification schemes are built around personal information, so engineering intellectual property falls straight through the gap and ends up protected like a timesheet system. A stolen customer record loses value quickly. A stolen product design does not. Briefly, our fifth story. A widely used self-hosted email and collaboration platform is being actively attacked, confirmed this week by Poland's National Cyber Emergency Team. The flaw isn't in the mail handling or the login page, it's in the monitoring subsystem, and that subsystem is switched on by default. More than 12,000 of these servers are exposed to the internet worldwide, most of them in Asia and Europe. The fix has been available since July, so this is a patching cadence problem, not a disclosure speed problem. If you self-host, check your version today, and if you were exposed and unpatched, assume mailbox contents were reachable and start your privacy assessment from there rather than waiting for proof. One more item, worth 30 seconds. An Australian government cybersecurity unit issued advisories this week on 2 flaws you should push out. One is a maximum severity sandbox escape affecting Firefox and Thunderbird in every version before 154. The Thunderbird part matters because that's an email client, where hostile content arrives without anyone choosing to visit anything. The other is a critical account takeover flaw in Zoom's Windows clients. Do check your virtual desktop clients specifically, they version separately and they're routinely missed. So, to wrap up, an identity flaw with nothing to install and everything to investigate. Industrial controllers under attack from AI-written scripts built out of public documentation. A supply chain attack that fires at compile time. An extortion tool that outlives the patch. And an email server flaw hiding in the monitoring plumbing. If there's one action to take from all of this, make it the smallest and least glamorous one. Go and find out how long you actually keep your logs. That single answer determines whether any of the rest of this is a question you can answer or one you can only worry about. That's it for this edition of The Briefing. Stay alert, verify the facts, ask the hard questions, and we'll see you in the next one.